What is up? What's going on, guys? Hey, sorry I'm a couple minutes late logging on here, but it's 11:02, so we're running slightly late. But glad to see everybody on here. Actually, there's a ton of people on, and I was a little worried because registration was a little light throughout the week as I sent this out, and I'm glad to see that we have 73 people on the line today, which is really good. Lots of you guys had registered later and had asked me to register. You asked me to register you for you. So thanks for jumping on today. I know it's been a rotten week for lots of you guys with snow. It's been a rotten week here in New Hampshire. And actually, as I look out the window now, it's snowing like a you-know-what again. So, but it's winter. It's what we do. For those of us in the Northeast, Massachusetts, and I see a couple of you guys, man, we had a wicked blizzard. So, but it's winter. And for those of you guys who have to plow, I know it's a great money-making scheme, you know, that whole snow removal deal. But I've always felt that you know, plowing takes away from your focus with marketing for the upcoming season. So it's a double-edged sword. I understand, you know, the cash flow need of it, but at Lawn Dog, in years where we had lots of snow, it was always our best sales year because we could focus more on getting in touch with people. And to tell you the truth, people, the later in the season the snow goes too, the more sales you make because true greeners are now jumping on lawns and beating you to it. So it's tough. It's not always an easy thing to deal with, but we march on. Happy Super Bowl weekend too. I don't know if you guys know it, but Dick is off to the Super Bowl. He's leaving at noontime today. So drop him an email and say congratulations. He's off to Phoenix, which is pretty sweet. So we're going to talk about marketing today. And hopefully everybody can hear me okay. Nobody's complained yet, which is a good thing. Sabres fans in the house, right, Callahan, right? So if you guys can hear me, that's a good thing. Nobody said that they can't yet. So we're going to talk about marketing, and this year more than ever before, we really want to help. In the past, let me back up. In the past, we want to help. We've been helpers. We help. That's what we do. We make suggestions. We've tried to set up relationships with vendors that kind of reduce your cost. But you know, in all honesty, I think it's been sort of scattered. It's been not as smooth as I would have liked it to go. I know that some of you have been successful. I know some of our sources have not been as successful as we wanted it to be. So what I want to do this year, and I've mentioned to most of you guys before that I've been sort of disappointed with the way we've been able to develop the brand of our dealer network, and we've had a little bit of an identity crisis with who we are in terms of branding. And I know I'm repeating myself here, but I think it's important. The BeeSafe brand is the brand that you as applicators use. The BeeSafe brand is not a brand that we as recruiters for more applicators use, right? So we want to, in the past, we've kind of blended it a little bit, and I don't think it's reflected as well as it should. So I've made a concerted effort to work really hard to try to separate the brand. The BeeSafe brand belongs to you guys. It is your brand, and it is to be used to promote your brand to consumers, to potential customers, and to existing customers. When we work on recruiting other and new BeeSafe applicators, we will use the brand Natural Technologies, or we post all of our information under, most of you have seen the website, thelawntrepreneurs.com. So I want to separate them, continue to separate them as much as I possibly can. So now in terms of marketing, this year more than ever, I want to launch what I'm calling the mybeesafelawn.com campaign. And it's designed to bring as many potential consumers and potential homeowners and customers to the table, invite them all to the party. This is a slide I use in our recruiting webinar. I left it in here when I was putting this quick slideshow together because I really think it's important. I want to continue to drive this home. BeeSafe applicators are lawn services that offer an organic program. BeeSafe applicators are not organic lawn care services. After we've been at this for 5 years now, and I know for a fact that if you begin to pigeonhole yourself into that niche, if you want to live in that niche, it's going to be more difficult for you to grow your business. Yes, you do want to be known as the leader, the organic expert in your demographic, in your market, and you certainly do want to take advantage and exploit those customers who are willing to pay a significant amount to have a completely 100% organic service. Definitely, that's what we do. It's what we're all about. I'm going to hold on a minute because I have a couple of people saying that they don't have any sound again. Can you tell me, you guys, is there anybody else who doesn't have any sound? Or give me a quick yay or nay on the sound. Talk to me, y'all. Okay, so it appears most everybody has sound. I know we got this last week too. Okay, thanks guys. For those who don't have sound, obviously you can't hear me, so my instructions are not going to mean much. So sorry. I think it probably has to do with your computer or your setup, but it looks like everybody else is pretty hooked up. So I'm just going to move on. So we want to push the BeeSafe brand to the general public, not just the Whole Foods crowd. Yes, we want to be known as the company that's able to cater to that high-end service business as well. But you need to drive volume. I've been saying that for years. It's very important that you're able to drive volume and make sales to people, make organic lawn care program sales to customers who don't even know that they're looking for an organic lawn care service, right? So what we're going to try to do is push everything together through one really hyper-focused campaign to drive the BeeSafe brand into the psyche of the American public. And you, as the brand owners, will take advantage of that. That's my goal, okay? So what I've done is I've put together some programs and things that I'm going to ask you to opt into. Certainly not a requirement, but I feel that if I have not control, but if I'm operating a central campaign, it becomes so much more easy for you to take advantage of the benefit of the cost savings. And if I do all the work for you, it just makes it much more simple for you to grow your business. So I'm going to go over some of those things today, and hopefully you'll take advantage of them. If you don't, that's totally cool. If you want to do it all on your own, that's even better. That helps the brand even more when there are more people working on certain things. So let's talk about the MyBeeSafeLawn.com consumer lead generation and sales campaign. Hopefully everybody has got their audio squared away. Feel free to ask questions as we go along, as usual, guys. Don't be shy. I may or may not answer them, but we'll definitely do a question and answer period at the end. I'm just going to kind of haul ass through this. I'm going to try not to go for 90 minutes like we've done in the past. So what's at the core of the MyBeeSafeLawn.com campaign? At the core of the whole branding are several things that I think are important for us to kind of flesh out to begin with. So we've got the existing website. We've got social media and supporting brand sort of development pieces, and I'm going to kind of, let's look at them. Excuse my sloppy PowerPoint here. So let's start with the website, right? So MyBeeSafeLawn.com is not a real in-depth or significantly vast website. I like to think of it as more of a microsite, okay? And you guys have heard me talk about this recently. This is a very simple lead-generating microsite. It's at MyBeeSafeLawn.com. We started working on this a little bit last year. We've really amped it up this year. And so what we're going to do is basically push this site as a brand. I know I've talked to some of you who have gone as far as use MyBeeSafeLawn.com as sort of your homepage, like on collateral, on I know a couple of you guys have talked about putting it on your business card. You can promote this as if it's your own. Okay, so let's go ahead and tell Mrs. Kelly she can wait. She's chatting with me up there. So the front page, simple lead generating tool. There's not a lot of information. So, somebody, Mike had just suggested, talk to Dick, Mike Callahan, that TrueGreen has a new measuring tool. So I went to the TrueGreen website, It's all redone. It's so busy. It's hectic. There's so much going on that I can't stand it. So this particular microsite, we want to keep it as simple as we possibly can. This front page, lead capture. Enter your information here, and we're going to send you an estimate. You'll get on our mailing list. The reason you want to do that is because you'll be able to download 9 organic lawn care tips that will change your lawn and life forever. When you do that, it's going to allow you to get that PDF. It's just sort of a real quick free giveaway. So when people are searching for what we do, they're going to come across this. The About Us page, very, very simple. Literally just a little bit of text. We could probably dress it up with a couple of pictures, and I do still want to make some adjustments to this. Some visually appealing pictures would be better. Again, it's simple by design, okay? Very simple by design. The blog part of it is really a very important part, because this is where we push organic search and search engine optimization. So I've been trying to blog twice a week since last fall. It's sometimes not that easy. Anytime anybody wants to write a blog or help write an article about anything, go ahead and let me know, because I'd be happy to allow you to post something up there. So the whole idea of this, you guys, is really not necessarily to get big readership, but it's more designed as part of an SEO strategy to have keywords and backlinks and that kind of stuff in there. I mean, sometimes it's good stuff. Sometimes I enjoy writing it. This particular one that I did the other day is about a new study out that links organophosphate pesticides with autism. And people, are always looking for a smoking gun with that. We tend to kind of stay away from that a little bit, unless it's really mainstream. And nowadays there are more and more mainstream things. But so what we do is we post a blog a couple times a week. The more the better, right? If I could do a blog every single day, that's going to help with SEO in a big way. And we do have a program going on to try to drive this site to the front of the search pages across the country all the time. So also locations. I've asked you all to look at this, and I want you to look at it again. If your contact information is not correct, please get with me and let me know, and we will make the change, okay? I also want you to consider things like, so John, I don't know if John DeStasio is on the call today. Sometimes he is, usually he is. His email address is john@begreenlawn.com. That's great. You should have sales at Shannon Landscaping, right? So your URL should be your contact information. Here's an example. Let me find one of what I don't think is a good idea. Keith Landscaping at Verizon.net. If you can put your own URL, your website, and your contact information, just gives you a little bit more credibility. Most of them aren't too bad. Sometimes you come across one that I would really wish we changed, but most of them are like, emerald.outdoorservices@gmail.com. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But like, hockeyfan 2012 at hotmail.com, that is not the best approach. So I would suggest that if you can, you want to update that as well. But please take a look at the locations page, and we update it all the time, but I sometimes feel like I'm missing something, and I want you to be able to let me know that your contact information is correct there, okay? Phil, I'm going to answer that question as we go along, just to let you know. So here's this is the myBeSafeLawn.com microsite. Everything that we do will be designed to drive traffic to this and get estimates out to you. It's got supporting sites as well. Google Plus page, myBeSafeLawn.com, and we'll continue to push this. The myBeSafeLawn.com Facebook page, which it only has 381 likes, but we have a pretty good following on this. So I post on this all the time. Anytime I write a blog, I link it to it. Anytime, in fact, here's the one from the other day. Oh no, this is me just being goofy. There's BeeSafe in the snow. If you look at, oh, here it is from the other day, the thing about autism. This thing reached 395 people. The goal is to get people to see this, like it, share it. It's a real simple brand building technique. If you guys don't have a Facebook page, it's a necessary evil. It's not the greatest lead generating tool, but it really helps build your brand. If anybody wants to post on this, let me know, because the more the better, right? But you need to have an updated Facebook page that you post on. When somebody visits your Facebook page and they see that you haven't posted anything in 18 months, they're like, oh, that company doesn't want my business. I'll find somebody who does. But so Facebook is an important strategy in our brand building and our consumer awareness campaign. So you should find mybeesafelawn.com and like it and share it with your friends. And the more people we have promoting this, the more it's going to grow. The more people we have promoting it, the more it grows, the more people find our microsite here, right? Same thing goes with Google+, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We just set up two new accounts for Instagram and Twitter. We had the Jekyll and Hyde issue with Twitter in the past, where BeeSafe is trying to recruit applicators using Twitter and mixing it in with consumer branding, and I just didn't like it. So Instagram, if you guys don't use Instagram, you have to now. It's officially past Twitter with the amount of users. It's a more aged, more grown-up version of Twitter. Twitter, a lot of kids use. Instagram, of course, the kids use, but grown-ups use it too, just to post pictures and that kind of deal. Here's our Twitter account, mybeesafelawn.com. Again, it all goes back to the website. We've got a YouTube channel that we'll be posting lots of stuff on, and that's it, right? What else do I have? So those are our support. That's the core. This is the core of the mybeesafelawn.com campaign. The website, Google+, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. How are we going to drive people to this site? How are we going to generate leads? That's what it's all about. The whole purpose of having a strategy is to generate leads and brand awareness. Brand awareness results in people requesting estimates, and people requesting estimates results in you making sales. You making sales results in you having more customers. You having more customers results in buying more product from BeeSafe. So it all works out pretty good. It works out for the best of us, right? So there's a bunch of lead sources that we're going to implement that I hope you'll take advantage of, and you'll clearly recognize some value from it if you don't, but I'd rather you opt into it. So we talked about organic search, SEO, and blogging. There's a program designed, a search engine optimization program designed in place on that microsite to push search traffic to the first page of Google. It's going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight. We get that. We're going to talk about our AdWords or our pay-per-click campaign. We've got a direct mail campaign set up. We're going to talk about local citations. We've already talked about social media a little bit, so we won't talk about that much more. We'll touch on it. We'll talk about PR, and we'll talk about our monthly newsletter or email marketing. So let's keep going here. We all know what AdWords are. Some of you guys took advantage last year of the campaign with Seth. Not everybody did, but AdWords is a lead source. It is not going to be your greatest lead source ever, but paid ads nowadays are certainly a requirement. Okay, so this screen capture I've got here is somebody searched for lawn care Orlando, Florida. The ads here are paid. The ads on the side are paid. This is pay-per-click. It's called AdWords. These are the organic search. So that's what the search engine optimization is all about. That's what we're trying to do to get search traffic to go free. But it's actually not free, and it takes a much longer time to do. But our pay-per-click campaign is going to be centralized this year, or I'm going to offer a centralized campaign that I hope you'll opt into. You should also do your individual campaign still if you'd like, not to the point where you're competing against each other, but so if you're a maintenance company or you're doing mowing or anything else like that, you should also, or construction, whatever other services you do, you should do pay-per-click, but your fertilization service probably should be left to this, or one or the other. You don't want to compete against yourself for placement. So how's this going to work? So with the mybeesafelawn.com program, you're not going to pay per click, you're going to pay per lead. So if you'll opt into this, there's no risk at all. There's no risk at all. We've designed a program here, and we're using Seth again, but Seth at bestpayperclick.com, who's a really smart dude. It's so much easier to operate a campaign like this at one particular go-to site. Last year we had, I don't know how many of you guys opted in, but you're dealing with landing pages, you're dealing with other keyword stuff, and it was a little bit more fractured. I don't think we realized the gain that we could have realized. With the My BeeSafe pay-per-click campaign, everything will be pointed, geo-targeted obviously. If you opt in, we'll geo-target the zip codes of the towns that you give us, make sure that the ads are showing up in those areas for the keywords and the demographic that we're going after, and we will generate a lead for you. You don't pay anything until that lead is generated. So there's a ton of work, I almost said a swear, there's a lot of work that goes into the back end of that to generate the pay-per-click campaign. When a lead is generated and you've opted in and it's in your area, you own it for $49. That's pretty good. $49 per lead isn't bad at all. Lead with dispatch is going to be $59, and we're going to talk about what lead with dispatch means in shortly. Okay, so does that make sense to everybody? No risk at all on this. All the work is being done behind the scenes. If you want to opt in, like, hey, Tom, go ahead, do it. We're going to start working on your campaign. We're going to start pushing the keywords in your geo-targeted area. And when we generate leads through the My BeeSafe campaign, that's when you pay. You buy the lead, essentially. It's pretty sweet. Next, direct mail. You guys know how I feel about direct mail. It is absolutely still a requirement to grow your lawn care business if you're in growth mode. It's expensive and it's complex. It's not always easy to predict and project. It's a lot of work on the back end. And I know we had a couple of you guys opt in to our vendor. I'm getting more messages that people can't hear me. Can everybody hear me? I think GoToMeeting or GoToWebinar here has been having a little bit of an issue. So most people can. Maybe it's issues with you guys' computer. All right, so sorry, Tim. If I could do sign language, I would. Maybe I'll turn on my webcam and do sign language, but hopefully you'll get the audio back. The direct mail campaign is going to be centralized again through the My BeeSafe campaign, and we've done a lot of work to set it up. Here's how it's going to work. We've got a relationship with this company called TargetNeighbors.com. He's been in there a couple of times. He's a smart guy, and I love this program. So the goal in this particular campaign, this direct mail campaign, is to perform a radius search around your existing customers. Okay? If you don't have a lot of existing customers or in a specific neighborhood that you want to get into, you're going to choose that particular neighborhood, and we're going to select the homes around that particular either customer or target. From there, what we've done is we've drilled down that demographic in a geo-targeted area to only include homes with pets and only include homes with children under the age of 12. So we're going to laser focus the targeting so that this direct mail piece arrives in people who are going to be, there's an income, I'm sorry, I wish I had put this down there. There's an income and a home value option as well. So that this direct mail piece is only going to drop into mailboxes of your particular demographic. It's way different than something like every door direct mail or a blanket mailing campaign. We're laser focusing the targeting so that the people who are interested in your service are able to get a direct mail piece. So let me show you how it's going to work real quick. Let me get out of this again. I'm going to have to jump over here. So this company, TargetNeighbors.com. So we'll put in an address. I always use this one right here. 11 Melissa Drive, Nashua, New Hampshire. What we now do is say we want to find 2,000 potential targets for our particular campaign. We're going to move this up to 2,000. We're at 2050. Hit search. And what it does is it takes that radius and it moves it out from that target customer home. So right now we've got 2,000 homes in about a 1-mile radius. So say we can go like this. We can do a 4-mile radius. Oh, come on. Maybe I got to do it this way. So say I want 5,000 pieces. Let's see how far it goes. It's going to go out now. It gets bigger, right? So and then we would, hit these neighborhoods. We want to send 5,000 direct mail pieces around this one particular customer. We know we got to go out 1.3 miles. Talk about when you make sales this way, guys, how tight your routes are going to be. I mean, that's pretty sweet, okay? So the way this is going to work is that we're not going to have you go into this particular radius search box. When you opt into this, what we're going to do is ask you to send the customers that you want to target to Steve at targetneighbors.com. He's then going to run them through his system to find out what the demographic is. Remember, we wanted to build in more into the demographic: people with kids, people with pets, people of a certain income, and people with a certain home value. We're going to laser focus on those particular prospects. So let's go back to this for a minute. So we want to laser. I hate when this happens. I lose my control panel here. Stand by. Freaking lawn, guys. Can't operate computers. We want to laser focus the target. We've got pre-selected drop dates. So when you opt into this, if you opt into this, I hope some of you will, our first drop date is February 25th. So guys a little bit further south, maybe moving up into the transition zone, our first drop date will be February 25th. Then they're about weekly thereafter, and we may move it, change it, move it around based on demand or weather, more importantly. Those drop dates will be March 11th, 18th, 25th, 1st, 8th, and 15th of April. And if we want to add more on, we can. But we've got one direct contact, Steve at this company, who's going to handle everything. We've even gone as far as design the pieces that you can pick from. We've designed 3 specific pieces with 3 different offers and calls to action for you to pick from. Depending on the volume that we get, and I know a couple of you guys ran into an issue with cost versus volume because we were all, last year when we're all operating sort of independently. The cost drops based on volume. The more we purchase, the more volume we drive, the further the cost goes down. Our target is to get to 50 cents per piece, and it's a nice, big, flashy, well-designed, well-branded postcard. You only have a 50-piece minimum individually, and that we can maintain that price as long as the volume from the group stays up. So it's not something where you have to jump in and send 25,000 pieces. You can jump in and send as few as 50 pieces at a time, but we need to get that volume up with people opting in to make it work. The great thing about this, too, is that you keep the context, the list that you're buying, you keep that, which is huge. It's very important. Any questions on the direct mail program? It's all done for you, and it all revolves around the My BeeSafe campaign as well. Yeah, that does include postage. This is from beginning to end. Okay, so this is just, you say, Tom, yes, I want to do this, and then we hook you up with Steve, and Steve gets with you about the customer demographic you want, not the demographic, the customers that you want to target, people in those neighborhoods. You send them that list. He runs it through his direct mail machine to figure out who the demographic is, who's going to get the pieces. We've got a guarantee. This is not like bulk mail. This is first-class mail. It's going to end up from the time we say go, within 5 to 7 days, the piece will be in the mailbox. So Keith, nope, you don't have to do it 6 times. The drop dates are designed geographically. So New Jersey is going to be way different than Atlanta with direct mail timing. You can opt in to any one of those drop dates, but because we want to do the best we can to kind of track and drive volume, we have certain drop dates where we'll do it. You don't have to do all of them. You can do just one. You can do a couple if you want. But David down in Atlanta is going to send his direct mail a heck of a lot earlier than you're going to in New Jersey, right? Yeah, and it does help to do it in multiples, right? You're right, Keith. Especially if you're going to drill it down to specific demographics. With one piece, you'll get in the neighborhood of 0.75% return. 2 pieces, it'll climb up a little bit. This guy, Steve, was trying to convince me you need like 6 or 7 touches, and I said that'd be great if I had $1 trillion for my direct mail campaign. You can't send out 6 or 7 pieces. I don't, yeah. Well, if you do send it out 6 or 7 times, it does go through the roof. You're right, but that gets so expensive. So, you know, my recommendation would be 2, 3 if you can handle it, you know, but we can talk about it individually. So, yes, to answer all of your questions, it includes postage, it includes everything, and you keep the prospects. You get an Excel file with everybody who got your direct mail piece, okay? I'm just reading the questions so I can move on to the next one. Yep, you can hit an area that you're not in yet. What you would do is you would pick that particular neighborhood. We would kind of do it the same way, where we would determine one particular home and then build a radius out from that. So yes, if say you don't have any customers in one area, it doesn't mean you can't market there. I'm going to take a couple seconds. I know there was a ton of questions about this. I missed a question about pay-per-click. Brad, you're the only one who gets the lead. So the lead is generated for you in the area that you've opted into. We're not generating leads and selling them to other people. This is a BeeSafe campaign. This is not like, you know, like Home Advisor where you buy a lead or something like that. If you opt into the campaign, we generate the lead for you. You are the only one that gets it. Rob, the question is the drop date for pay-per-click. It can start as soon as you want. For instance, guys, I look out the window right now. I'm not dropping a dime on pay-per-click, but some of you are looking out the window and it's nice out and you want to start that, right? So in your case, Rob, I think you'd want to wait a little bit. They're all individually functioning campaigns operating under one common roof. It's just that it's got multiple geo-targets. So all you got to do is opt in. Tell me to do it. Tell me when to start it. And we'll start it, and when we generate a lead, you get the lead, but that's when you pay for it. You don't pay per click, you pay per lead. That's a good question, though. We can control it any way we want. We can turn it on, we can shut it off. If it's lousy weather out, we don't want to pay for it. There's not a fee for the list on the direct mail. The direct mail is the 50 cents per piece. And I got him to agree between 50 and 60, and I got him to agree to 50, and he kind of ground his teeth a little bit. But with volume enough, we can do it. 50 cents per piece, you get the list. You don't have to buy the list. So if, say, you want to send out 10,000 pieces of mail, you will get a spreadsheet with the 10,000 people that mail went to. Yes. So that's a good question, Ryan. So in order to make this work, it all has to revolve around one particular landing page. The pieces are designed to drive traffic to the mybeesafelawn.com website, microsite. Again, we want to try to keep it as simple as possible. So in your case, Ryan, you say send out 5,000 pieces of direct mail to these zip codes. Those direct mail pieces hit the mailboxes. You know, hopefully about 1% of those people go to the website. So we send that lead to you. You get that lead. Okay, it creates tons of work on our end because we need to disseminate those leads, and it's not automated, but it keeps the costs down. Everything goes to one particular. You will get those leads. You are the only one who will get those leads. Those aren't leads that go to more than one person, right? Does anybody know what local citations are? Ryan, to back up a little bit, yes, we will track data, but there's also more benefits to that, and I'll explain that in a moment as well. There's even more benefits to that. Local citations. Does anybody know what this is all about? Search engine optimization is changing. It always changes, but it's changing more and more all the time. When somebody searches on Google for something, Keith, I'm going to back up again. Does our phone number and company name go on the postcard? It is the opportunity to have variable printing is there. Yes, so we can because the variability of the printing it's going to say, hey, we service a lawn at 25 Main Street. That increases your response rate. we do have the opportunity to put your contact information on there as well. So yes, the answer to the question was, does our phone number and company name go on that postcard? Yes. Local citations and search engine optimization. Back in the older days, somebody would pick up the yellow pages and look up lawn care. It was right before lawyers. I looked in phone books all over the country. Nowadays, people go to Google and type in lawn care. And so kind of based on some of the things we were just talking about, this is your paid advertising here. Down below here is your organic advertising, not organic lawn care, organic in that search engine optimization. Somebody is driven to be here. But up here is your local listings. And more, I guess algorithms, I guess is the way to say it, the way Google decides who gets found is changing. It's all based on different things now. So what you have to do is focus on something that's called a local citation program. And you need to submit your information to as many possible local search engines as you possibly can. And let's take a look. It is a pain in the ass. I agree. So we've automated it. That's what we're going to talk about here. There are over 300 local search engines, and here's a list of them all. You know, things like Yellow Pages. Angie's List is on there. Things you've of, whatever chirp.com is, Dex Knows, elocal.com, elocalfinder.com, EasyLocal, Find It Now, Foursquare, Hot Frog, okay? There's more than 300, I think there's 375 local search engines that if you want to show up on those local pages, you need to be submitted to these. It's a real, as Ryan said, he's a God-fearing man, so he wrote A asterisk asterisk. He didn't want to say ass, and I respect that. But it is a pain in the ass. So we've got a local citation program where we're working with a company that will automate this for you. Okay, and I don't know how they do it, but it's a program, some sort of proprietary program where they're going to submit your information to all of these local citation programs automatically. There are data aggregators, the way it's been explained to me, and he sent me tons of information. We've experimented with a couple of companies already on how it works. So if you want more information about this in more detail, I can talk to you about it. In fact, we'll contact you about all of these programs as well. But the information is submitted to 3 or 4 specific, what they call data aggregators. Then they're dispersed to all of those particular local search engines. And it's done automatically. It takes, I'm told, 6 to 8 months for them all to be operating efficiently, so that you're almost ensured that you will show up on those local listings. But with the way that Google's changing this algorithm and search function and everything else, you have to do that, or else you won't show up. So people are searching for services through Google. If you can find a way, let me get my thing again here, to show up as a paid lead on the sides, to show up under organic search on the bottom, and showing up on the local citation page as well. That's like, you know, that's multiple touches all at once. That gives you significant credibility. Somebody's going to look at that page, and whether they really know it or not, their brain is going to process the fact that they've seen that 3 times, right? So it's a good thing. So that's the goal. The goal is to be able to be found all the time. So we've got a program that will do this for you, okay? We can do this for you. The cost is $499. It's a one-time fee. I thought I put that on here. I didn't. The cost is $499. It's a one-time thing. It's not something you need to update or maintain every year. It's in order to get your information submitted to the data aggregators and show up on the local citation page. Any questions? It's a little bit more complex, I think, than I feel like I'm giving it credibility for in this real quick webinar here, so I'm going to get you more information on that as well. Social media is another way we really feel we can generate leads. If you remember last year, I couldn't figure out how to do it on a large scale, and I still can't. I know that we've messed around with, with sponsored posts, calls to action, lead generation, especially on Facebook. I've never done Twitter. I've never done Instagram. I've never done YouTube. But Facebook is easiest to do it. Evidently, Twitter is the most inexpensive, but I'm not sure all of our demographic is cruising Twitter as much as we want. I'm still trying to figure out the best way to generate leads using a paid service on social media, and I will figure it out, right? I'll figure it out at some point, and we'll get it to you. In the meantime, we'll just continue to build the brand on these platforms. That's what our goal will be. A couple of questions before I get into this next one. Tim, good question. The question is, do you have to get each of your business activities listed with the citations? That's part of it. It's keyword research, okay? Lawn care, it's all based on certain search terms and keywords. So we've done all that search word data as well. So construction would probably be different than fertilization. The keyword data says things like lawn care, organic lawn care, lawn fertilization, lawn maintenance, even lawn mowing. And I can send you or show you all of that data. In fact, if you're going to go do any of this on your own with your own business, ask me, because we've made an investment in getting that keyword data. But say you wanted to show up for masonry or pool building or something like that, it would probably have to be different than fertilization, lawn maintenance, landscaping. I'm guessing that the keyword data is so far apart it wouldn't work both ways. That's a good question, though. We could find out more detail on that from Kyle, who's handling it for us. Whoops, what'd I do? Come on, computer, don't fail me now. Oh, come on, baby. Okay, good. PR. Some of the most publicity we've ever gotten here was through PR, and not on purpose. So when that article was in Entrepreneur Magazine 2 years ago that named BeeSafe as an industry disruptor, the amount of leads that we generated, the amount of attention that we got, literally increased to 10,000-fold. I don't even think I can assign a value to it. So PR is something that you can manipulate and use to your advantage, right? So what we're going to do, we've got a platform to be able to write and disseminate 4 monthly pieces to the media. The way it works now, like you see, free press release sites and everything like that. Somebody told me that actually hurts. That actually negatively affects your SEO. It's cool to do a press release, and it's cool to do it for free on freepressrelease.com or whatever. But now Google and the search engines have caught on to that, and it counts against you because you're trying to cheat. You're trying to get away with something that you should pay for. So there are platforms, PR Web, Vocus, and a couple other ones that will that can really drill it down, so that you can do a national press release, but more importantly, you can do a geo-targeted press release. So we would write a story, and we write it like it's a news story. It's not an announcement. It's not like, attention, Schmerzy Lawn Care is now a BeeSafe applicator. Like it looks like an advertisement. That's not what it is. We want sort of a public interest piece that I'll write about lawn care, about how to control weeds, about what to do with crabgrass, about pesticides, about the impact of products on your kids and pets, things like that. The goal is to get those things picked up by media, whether it's web media, social media, print media, magazines, newspapers, or everything in between. You can now geo-target that down to include specific publications. Now, it's not a guarantee as to whether they pick it up or not, but most of these publications are looking for specific content all the time. I mean, it's always a grind to crank out that content. So we've got a campaign in place to do 4 pieces beginning next month that will be disseminated and hopefully generate significant interest. It's advertising sort of disguised as public interest pieces. And we'll get that out beginning next month, and we'll go all the way through the spring. Everything will drive back to the My BeeSafe campaign. So again, if we can target your particular area, and people see that, read the piece, say, oh, I'm interested in that. They go to My BeeSafe. Either they're going to go to the locations page and call you or contact you by that particular, your contact information. That's why I think you need to have something better than hockey player, 2012 at hotmail.com. You need a professional web address and professional email address there. They're either going to contact you that way, or they're going to submit a form through the contact page and request an estimate, and it will be sent to you. Okay? That's the goal. PR is going to be a big part of what we do. It'll be each time. The question is 75 each time or 75 for all 4. I think it's going to be 75 each time, Rob, unless I can get, again, volume through the PR company where I can reduce the price, and I may be able to. It's going to be for each one. You may not want to opt into each one. So, like, we'll do the one in February might be about, weeds or whatever. And where we are up here, nobody's even thinking about it. So you wouldn't want to make an investment in doing a PR piece in Maine when it's talking about something that applies more to Florida. That's why we're going to do multiple pieces. I guess it wouldn't hurt either. It's just not going to get as much bang for the buck as you'd like. So PR is important. Here's something we're doing different this year, and hopefully, actually I know it will work out. I don't know how many of you will opt into it. Lead dispatch is such an important part. I mean, there's so many moving parts in any marketing campaign, and trust me, it's overwhelming. I know that. I totally get that. Especially for guys who are plowing or got other services going on. You're making all this investment and all this work into generating your brand, building your brand, and generating leads. You're spending money to generate leads. I know for a fact so many of you, and this is critical, I'm being critical of you, and I guess I won't call out anybody in particular, but you make that investment to get the lead generated, you get a lead, and then you just kind of let it fade away. Okay, so lead dispatch and sales follow-up are, I mean, it makes the biggest difference in the world. And I don't know if I have the slide in this one, but in another presentation we talk about how marketing and sales are 2 completely different things. In most cases, in most real companies, they're 2 different departments. It's not even the same department. It's not the same people. It's not even the same, the same floor, right? There's a marketing department that does the advertising, does the PR, generates the leads, and then there's the sales department that closes the deal, that makes the sale. The linchpin in the midst of that is the method in which you get that lead to the customer. And you guys have heard me say this for years now, that I firmly believe that you need to get that lead into the hands of the customer ASAP, like now, like stat. And a couple of you guys last year say, hey, man, I generated the leads, but it's really kind of cold out, so I'm sitting on them. And I just head slap, like, come on, dude. You paid money to generate leads, whether maybe referral or whatever. You've got requests for estimates, and you're sitting on them so you can go look at the house personally. You need to get that lead done ASAP, right away. So the way it works here is that we've generated, let me get my trusty highlighter out again. You make an investment to create a lead, your lead source. And that's all the things we just talked about, whether it's direct mail, pay-per-click, public relations, social media, local search, all that stuff. You've generated a lead. You've generated interest. They go to the website. They fill out the information in the contact form. They request more information. They request an estimate. 2 things can happen at this point. If you don't opt into this, lead dispatch 911 program, we then send you the lead, okay? And I hope that you execute that lead immediately. I hope you deal with it and do the estimate that day, that minute, make a call, whatever. If you want, what we can do, this is totally different than we've ever done before, we'll do the estimate for you. So that lead is generated, Somebody fills out the contact form. That lead is going to go to our call center here, the BeeSafe Sales Center. Somebody in that sales center is going to dispatch that lead using my lawn quote. They're going to actually do the estimate for you. One of the things, I don't know if you noticed on the form back at the website, was what color is your house? Okay, so we know it reduces the amount of margin for error as to which house it is. For those of you guys who are still skeptical about measuring properties online, after having done this for a couple of years now, I know lots of you guys were worried about, man, I got to get my guy out there to wheel it because you might get it wrong. Man, there's trees. Trust me, the online measurement is more accurate than your guy with the wheel, right? So your guy with the wheel is behind the seat. The guy ain't wheeling the lawn. Unless you're doing every single lead yourself and you're measuring lawns yourself, then God bless you. But to measure lawns using the satellite, you can literally, it's freaking math, okay? Very seldom do you get it wrong. It might be off by a little bit here or there. In the rare chance you do the wrong house, but we've got the color of the house built into there, it's 98% accurate, okay? So I've in the past I said, oh, I understand your concern. And I kind of say, yeah, I know what you're talking about. I'm changing my opinion. Quit bitching about it. It works. So somebody in the BeeSafe Sales Center will immediately, upon that estimate being submitted to through the website, will do that estimate for you. Send it out. Hopefully using your own MLQ account. We can use the BeeSafe account if you want. But the pricing is going to be different. I think most of you have MLQ accounts. If you don't, you should get one. So we will go into your account, do that estimate immediately. Upon doing that estimate, that customer will be put into a lead nurturing campaign, and they will get 4 emails over the course of the next couple of weeks selling the program. Okay, so they'll say, I haven't written them yet. In fact, I know, Mike, that's what you were calling about earlier today. We'll build into that, into our Infusionsoft account, the ability for those touches to be automated. As soon as somebody gets an estimate through lead dispatch, it'll be put into a lead nurture campaign where essentially propaganda is emailed to that customer talking about how awesome the BeeSafe program is. The cost for us to do this is going to be $10 per lead. Essentially, we're becoming your sales center, okay? We're not going to do phone follow-up for you. We're not prepared for that yet. Maybe next year we're going to be able to do that. So the follow-up will be via email. It will not be via calling. I encourage you to also call these leads and sell them personally, whether it's you or a salesperson. But I don't know how many times, and I know I've caught myself sounding like a jerk a couple times during this call, but it's frustrating. You put all this information, put all these resources into generating leads, and then you don't convert them. That sales process is so, so important. In the future, hopefully, we'll be able to close them for you, but I don't think we're ready for that yet, and I don't want to let anybody down in that regard. So, again, the goal is to generate the lead, get through the contact form, goes to the sales center. The sales center sends the lead immediately within, not in the middle of the night. And then it goes into a nurturing process where we're able to continue to follow up and sell it. Essentially what we're going to do is do it for you. Okay. And so to take that to the next step, for those of you who don't have MLQ CRM yet, you get it at half price. So if you guys don't have this particular CRM set up, when you register for an account, then I really think it's important that it's your own branded information. You can use the BeeSafe MLQ CRM. We can do that for you, but it's not going to be branded as your company. It's going to be branded strictly as BeeSafe. In my opinion, it's better for it to be, McHenry's lawn care certified BeeSafe applicator with your own logo and branding it. I think that the BeeSafe brand accentuates your personal brand, not the other way around. So anytime you want to buy this, BeeSafe applicators get it at half price. So sign up and use the code BeeSafe Annual when you sign up, and it'll charge you $300. I think that's my last slide. Yep. Any questions about any of this stuff? I know there are a bunch of questions. Let me back up. So hit me with them now, because we're done with the presentation. Now I want you to ask me questions. I kept it to less than an hour. That's pretty good. Dick, if you're leaving, go ahead. Don't wait for me. I don't know if Dick's listening, but he said he was going to leave at noontime. Wish him well. He'll probably come in and say goodbye before he goes. Kid's going to the Super Bowl. There he is. You leaving? Dick Conley is out. Have fun. Be careful. Okay. All right. Let me answer these questions now. Thanks, Rob. If the customer emails you back and wants to get service, are you guys set up to take care of that? Yeah, we've gone, Ryan, good question. So the question is if a customer emails back based on the lead nurturing, yes. In fact, we've talked about even placing one call when we do the estimate, just saying, hi, Mrs. Friend, this is Courtney from BeeSafe. We just sent you the estimate. I want to make sure that you get it, okay? But I think it's going to get busy, and we're not going to be able to do that. When somebody replies to an email that might be part of that nurture, we'll either forward it to you if it's specific to your particular business, or we'll answer the question. So yes, we're set up to take care of that. Keith, let me clarify that, because I hope that didn't come off that way. So Keith says, so we start out with a 50-cent postcard that directs them to the microsite at $49 per lead and $10 to send the estimate. That $49 per lead only applies to pay-per-click. So that's only pay-per-click. So the $49 under the scenario that you describe is taken out. You don't pay for the lead. If you want us to follow up on a direct mail lead, it's $10, just because we need to take the action on it. But you're already paying for that lead through the cost of the direct mail. The $49 is for pay-per-click, because all of that work, because we're paying per click, okay? But we want to simplify it and drill it down so that you pay for the lead. It's $49 per lead for pay-per-click. The cost for direct mail you don't pay $49 again. You pay the 50 cents per postcard. You generate the leads. If you want us to send out the estimate, then it's $10. But that would be crazy to charge that much. Hopefully that makes sense, and hopefully if it came off that way, that clarifies it. The company that does the targeted mailing is, I'll go back to it because I got the website there, targetneighbors.com. We have a local representative. His name is Steve. I can put him in touch with you if you'd like. So why don't you, instead of sending a contact through the website, I'll connect you with Steve. And I can't remember his last name for some reason. I feel silly just saying Steve. Steve, he lives in Massachusetts. He's been here a couple times. What's up, Steve? Lots of comments about Dick going to the Super Bowl, and he's not here anymore, so I can't say it. But all right, I think he will. I think he definitely will. Seahawks, come on, guy. Is that it for questions? There's lots of comments, lots of comments about the particular sources, but no more questions. If there aren't a lot of questions, I've done a good job explaining it. The question is, does Steve have the direct mail pieces to see, or do you? I don't have them yet. I will soon, David. In fact, we were working on those this week. So the truth is, they aren't completely done yet. We've been working on mocking them up. And they aren't completely done yet. They will be done next week. That's why we put that first drop out a month from now. But as soon as I get them, I'll get them out to you. we're going to end up following up with you guys on some of the stuff. Courtney, who's in the center over there, she's going to follow up with you. She's going to call and see if she can answer any more questions for you. The costs aren't listed on the due diligence site, Keith. We don't have a section on due diligence about this. That's a good idea. Perhaps we should put something on there that explains in more detail all of these issues. And Brian, in response to your comment about the T-Rex at the Super Bowl, if anybody's going to find a T-Rex, it's going to be you and Richard. So maybe you should hook up. That's an inside joke, and I apologize to the other people who are on the line. How do you handle overlapping areas with advertising? Hopefully there isn't going to be any overlapping areas. Perhaps that's a good question. Especially with the pay-per-click, you don't target by zip code. You target by radius. So good question, Rob. There may be some overlapping areas. If two people are opting into the program and that potential exists, we're going to have to deal with it on a case-by-case basis. We ran into that with pay-per-click 2 years ago. Our applicator in Delaware was doing pay-per-click, and it was bleeding into up into Pennsylvania. So there was a little bit of carryover. So we'll have to deal with it on a case-by-case basis. We'll talk about that. It's a good question, though, Rob, and we want to get out ahead of something like that. Keith, we have a piece of collateral that explains it all. It's that Courtney worked on that explains each program in more detail, and we'll get that out to you right away. Any other questions? Cool, Kyle. Thank you. Yeah, we'll talk to you later on. The question is, do you only pay once for local citations? What happens in a year or two? They're there forever. Anytime you make an update to something, that's a good question, Bill. If you move, what happens? I'm going to have to ask that question. You only have to do it once. The payment or the cost is to submit your information to the data aggregators one time. The question is, what happens if you move, or what happens if you change your information? In that case, you may have to do it again, but I'll get clarification on that. Bill, you and I are scheduled, or I know I owe you an email too. Maybe we should have a call about the things we talked about. But let me get some clarification on that from Kyle, who's handling it for us. Anything else, guys? Going once, going twice. Chad, I recorded it. So the question is, how can I see it? I always post the recordings of these at thelontrepreneurs.com. I post them at thelontrepreneurs.com. We invented that site, again, to deal with the Jekyll and Hyde issue we have with our brand. Anything BeeSafe belongs to you. Anything that I want to get to you about BeeSafe should not be promoted as BeeSafe, right? The BeeSafe brand belongs to you. We post our content and our directions and stuff like that either on the due diligence site, which is password protected, or if it's something that I don't care if it's password protected, I just put it right up at thelontrepreneurs.com. It takes a while to render the video, so I might be up there this afternoon. I'll do it right away, and we'll see if we can get it up there. But check back, give it at least a few hours, and most likely Monday. So today's Friday, so I'll try to get it up today. Anything else, you guys? All right. Well, thanks for hooking up today. Go Pats. Talk to you again soon. Thanks, guys. So long.